but I had to tell you guys this. If you're a young person and you're planning to protest against what the EFCC did in collaboration with GT Bank on arresting VDM, I support you wholeheartedly. Okay, I know I don't talk about VDM anymore. I told you I'm not in journalism anymore. I've retired, but at the end of the day, I'm still a journalist. Okay, if a plane flies high to about 38,000 feet and somebody has a heart attack and there's a doctor on board, that person is still a doctor. At the end of the day, God punished people who are trying to distort the story and people who are trying to fill a different narrative on this story. The Vanguard newspapers, Izzy, I'm very disappointed in you. You guys went and ran this story. Instabloggers blogged it, and you're showing us CCTV that he was not arrested on GT's premises. Now, that's not important. If police wants to arrest me, I bet they won't come in the bank and do it. They'll probably do it outside the bank. But at the end of the day, it's still their premises. What is the charge on VDM? So stop it at Vanguard. Nigerian media, you have started doing all this brown envelope work and damage control for GT Bank. It's not going to work. Start reporting about...
Hi guys, I hope this video finds you well. Alright, His Excellency Peter Obi has added his voice to this saga between VDM, GTB and EFCC. Guys, you just can't afford not to hear what you have to say on this issue. You see, one of the things that Peter Obi brought out in this issue is this: why was VDM not invited? With the way they kidnapped VDM, how will in Nigeria the cities be able to differentiate a kidnapper from that activity, that operation that took place, you understand, in apprehending VDM? You see, I've said it before. I've never had it. This is the voice of Jacob but the hand of Esau. The person behind it is purely, the government, Pablo Escobar. How come he spoke against Sheikh Tinubu yesterday? Today he was apprehended after APC has threatened him the previous week. You know what? I'll be right back. Let's listen to what His Excellency Peter Obi has to say. I will be right back for us to dissect this together. But please do me a favor. Before we watch this, kindly give it a thumbs up so that Facebook and YouTube can recommend it. Alright, before we watch this video, please, we listen to what His Excellency Peter Obi has to say. Please, I want us to take a listen at what the latest video, his friend just released, Boko
Haram, even Boko Haram, with the trouble Nigeria bandits, they not prepared to go raid them the way they raid the VDM. That should tell you something. The government doesn't hate corruption. They hate competition. They hate when it looks like you are beginning to compete with them for attention. Then they come for you. Now they are saying cyberbullying. What thing concern EFCC concerns cyberbullying? One thing I can tell you from the experience I've had with these people is that government will never ever come and tell you they are the ones after you. You know why? It looks like a suppression if they come and tell you. They will look for something to put in front, whereas the real idea they back. This case where EFCC they carry that case, so we know. I know clearly. I know. They say the more you know, the less you will talk. I know the reason behind this thing. You carry on. You never go too far. You don't need beat them. They collect password for your phone. You don't need beat them. So make it give you phone password. Now that password is like VDM sword. You think they shoot them? They won't know. But me, from now till Monday, I go expose them. First things first, I'll come and explain why they want that his phone. What did they worry now? Remember the time they took us to the House of Reps? The House of Reps now, when VDM, we tendered half voice conversation. We told them we have part 2 and part 3. Since then, EFCC never did normal. That time when VDM exposed even the prison warders when they do deals. I don't tell you in this country, EFCC, please release VDM. Whatever you're expecting for VDM inside that cell, VDM no go follow on a talk. VDM would rather die than carry your placard. So Nigerians, make we wear seatbelt. We are in it for a very long run. That's what I know.
According to His Excellency Peter Obi Twitter handle, the recent development in our nation continue to raise serious concerns about the direction we are headed as a democracy. The tension in the land, aggravated by hardship, is being needlessly fueled by our attitude to the rule of law and human rights. The arrest of Martin Vincent Ose, popularly known as Verydarkblackman, though perhaps within the legal right of security agencies, was carried out in a manner that left many Nigerians unsettled. The display of force lacking in transparency and civility closely resemble an adoption, a disturbing method that not only creates fear but also risks being mimicked by criminal elements. If Nigeria begins to struggle to distinguish between legitimate arrest and unlawful abduction, we will lose a vital layer of national security and accountability. This trend is not new. We must recall that even our esteemed judges, the last line of defense for justice, have suffered similar indignities in recent years. When those who interpret the law are treated with such disregard, it is difficult to expect that ordinary citizens will feel protected under the law. Moreover, these methods are beginning to affect our economy and business environment. The backlash directed at GT Bank, allegedly linked to the circumstances surrounding Mr. Ose arrest, has had serious reputational consequences at a time when investor confidently is already fragile. We must do all we can to avoid actions that tarnish institutions or undermine the trust of both citizens and the international community. One cannot help but ask, was it impossible to invite Mr. Ose in a civil, transparent, and legal manner? Would that not have spread Nigeria's GT Bank? Would that not have spared Nigeria's GT Bank and our national image the unnecessary shame and losses we now witness? Similarly, troubling are allegations surrounding the so-called adoption of the NANS president. If true, it raises critical questions about the independence of the student leadership and the subtle erosion of young voices in our democracy. Nigerian youth should not feel coerced, silenced, or absorbed into political agendas that do not reflect their will. The oppression of young voices, whether through force, patronage, or intimidation, is a dangerous path that we must not normalize. We must return to a Nigeria where justice is done and seem to be done without traitors or abuse. A country where youths can speak freely, judges can serve with dignity, and institutions act responsibly. That is the Nigeria we must build. A new Nigeria is possible. His Excellency Peter Obi.
Good afternoon, everybody in Nigeria. This is Dr. Kemi Olunoye. Saturday, the 3rd of May, 2025. I just finished a Twitter space for about an hour and a half, and I also did a Facebook Live this morning. I know I'm not doing a lot of videos anymore. I want to do faceless videos, but I had to tell you guys this. If you're a young person and you're planning to protest against what the EFCC did in collaboration with GT Bank on arresting VDM, I support you wholeheartedly, okay? I know I don't talk about VDM anymore. I told you I'm not in journalism anymore. I've retired, but at the end of the day, I'm still a journalist. Okay, if a plane flies high to about 38,000 feet and somebody has a heart attack and there's a doctor on board, that person is still a doctor. At the end of the day, God punished people who are trying to distort the story and people who are trying to fill the different narrative on this story. The Vanguard newspapers, AZ, I'm very disappointed in you. You guys went and ran this story. Instabloggers blogged it, and you're showing us CCTV that he was not arrested on GT's premises. Now, that's not important. If police wants to arrest me, I bet they won't come in the bank and do it. They'll probably do it outside the bank. But at the end of the day, it's still their premises. What is the charge on VDM? So stop it at Vanguard. Nigerian media, you have started doing all this brown envelope work and damage control for GT Bank. It's not going to work. Start reporting about the real things GT is doing, like how they actually connived with the DSS to get a fake court order to pin Shore down to terrorism financing. Or you guys forgot, I did a report in December where they tried to say Omoyele was actually financing terrorism from outside Nigeria. It's not gonna work. Okay, Nigeria is different now. We're getting to a revolution stage, and I'm going to support every last youth on this VDM project. Okay, Vincent Martin Otse has not done anything wrong. All right, left to me, what's happening here is a case of identity theft. Remember last year when VDM said his money was missing and some Yahoo boys did? This was why I was telling you guys that I shouldn't make that a joke. He wanted to know who hated him, who liked him, and that brought out a lot of can of worms. Okay, I've done something like that before when I shut down my Twitter and people thought that Twitter had deleted my page and they were all celebrating. It's nice to see your enemies, but at the end of the day, I didn't like that because now they could like used it against him. At the end of the day, the fact remains that this man has done a lot of work. He's gone, that Access Bank thing really freaked me out, the case he did, and now it's his own mother. And now you are now fielding us CC camera. What's that gonna do? And GT Bank is paying you guys money to show us that he wasn't arrested in their premises. GT, you're complicit because you were complicit in the Shawara case. Okay, there's lots of customer service issues in your bank. A lot of people are complaining they can't access their money and all that. I'm going after you, not to talk of what Shegun Agbaje did to me by blocking my YouTube video because I accused him of arresting 4 journalists who he tried to bribe, and the journalists refused the bribe, and then he said those journalists blackmailed the bank and they tried to defame the bank and call the IGP to arrest them. 6 months now, where are those journalists? It's even an international case because Human Rights Organization for Journalists, CPJ, Committee to Protect Journalists, was on that case. How long was that sentence? I didn't put a full stop for a long time. It is time that we wake up in Nigeria. If you're a Nigerian youth and you're protesting on Monday for VDM, whether online, whether on the ground, especially those of you on the ground, if you're in front of a GT Bank on Monday, send me pictures. Okay, tag all pictures to me. Kemi Talks on Facebook. We have 795,000 people there. Okay. Dr. K. Olunoye on X. Instagram, just tag me. I'll help you spread the photos. I'll help you move this. You know, if I have to do journalism for one day, I'll do it. But this must not die. Okay, they need to release VDM. And this is a case of identity theft. Somebody in the bank used his identity to get a loan and then deducting it from his mother's account. And mom's account has been compromised because somebody stole her identity. Now, how many of us know each other's NIN numbers? I can't even tell you my son's NIN number off head. You know, I can't even tell you my NIN number off head. But somebody knows our NIN numbers, and it's called the bank. Someone in the bank did that. Okay, come for me. I'll come for you to GT Bank. You're the worst bank in Nigeria. Everywhere in the world, none of this stuff happened. So let's know what happened. Let's know the truth. And if it has to do with what he said about Igbos and the Okoya kids when E-Money was arrested, let us know that too. Either way, none of it is a crime. Nigerian youth, speak up. Don't let this go anywhere. Revolution is almost here. Okay, it's enough. They can't continue to frustrate you like this. I don't care about the leaders. I don't care about anybody. Okay, you see what my father did to me, to antagonize me in everything I wanted to do. They know the truth and they don't want the truth to be coming out. I'm Dr. Kemi Olunoye. You can find me online. You know where to find me. But I support every Nigerian youth, okay? I'm throwing my weight on every single Nigerian youth supporting VDM on this thing, okay? The only reason why I stopped talking about VDM was because you guys were accusing me, you know, be careful what you say out of your mouth, saying, Abi, you have collected bribe to make VDM bad. No, I like the work he's doing. I've constantly spoke about his work, especially that Bobrisky case, which I still believe that Bobrisky bribed the EFCC. Olukoye mabo fumio. Mabo fumio, Olukoye bugbo yimbe. Nigeria won't exist anymore. You just see a revolution come, everything is changed. For all I care. I'm not advocating or inciting everything. Anyone that thinks I'm advocating or inciting everything, go to fucking...
Slow poison. I know most of you have heard the word slow poison, but do you know that there are slow-acting poisons? Do you know about that? When Verydarkblackman was arrested, kidnapped, because that is not an arrest. When Verydarkblackman was kidnapped, allegedly, and later handed over to the authorities, I heard that some of his friends and family went to visit him, and then they went there with food, and then the agency that was responsible, I don't want to call names, I don't know who they are, I don't want to call names, they refused to accept the food that was brought from the family. They insisted that they will be the one to give him food. Honestly, I don't think that is a good idea. I'm just creating an awareness. I'm just creating awareness right now. Because you people giving him food is putting your own agency at risk. Allow his family to give him food at least. Nobody knows what is inside the food you people want to give him. I'm just saying you people can give him normal food, but nobody knows. I'm just letting you people know that we know that there is something called slow poison. And if anything happens to Verydarkman, God forbid, in a year time, in 2 years time, in 3 years time, you guys are putting yourself at risk. Because we know. I want you guys to know that we know that such things happen. In case it's already in you people's head. We know, we are aware that somebody could be poisoned and it could take a long time for that poison to take effect. Example of these slow-acting poisons are carcinogen or radioactive substances. Now, where am I going with all this? I am not insinuating anything so I don't get arrested. I am just saying that there are possibility that someone could give you food and poison that food and it will not take effect immediately. It could take maybe a year or sometimes longer than a year or 2 years, maybe, depending on the kind of substance that was given to you. Now, let me tell you how this works. Sometimes this poison will slowly fight your immune system. It will slowly fight your immune system, that your immune system cannot fight those natural small sickness that used to come to your body. Like, let's say when you have malaria now, normally your immune system is strong. When you take your malaria drugs, you get cured or you get healed. Now, when you have these poisons in your body, sometimes something as small as malaria can trigger it. Sometimes it could even become cancerous. People would think you die of a natural death. They could think you die of cancer. Nobody will know that it was a long time poison that you took that is killing you. Do you know that there are substances like that? You know, this whole thing happening just took me back to the time of Mohbad. When Mo was alive, I think there was a time Mo was crying. He said some people arrested him and they gave him some substance. Nobody ever talked about that part, that direction. What substance was given to Mo that Mo was talking about? He said after they gave him that substance, he didn't feel well when they arrested him. I don't know the agency, whether it was NDLA or it was EFCC. I don't want to call. I'm just making reference to something that is already on the internet if you check. I'm not speculating anything again. I'm just saying. So things like that, who knows if the injection that was later given to him triggered whatever that substance is. Again, I'm not making speculations. I'm just saying. If you think outside the box. Now, why am I saying this? So to avoid all these future allegations, I will advise that the agency responsible for Verydarkman arrest should allow his family, his relative, bring food for him. Don't give him any food. Don't even give him water. Let his family bring food and water for him. So avoid story that touches the heart in the future, because if anything happens to him in 2-3 years time, we are aware. We know what we are. We have the idea. We know what these things can be. Sometimes it could result to cancer. Sometimes it might look like a natural death, but we know. So this is me letting you guys know that some of us know about slow acting poisons. We know about this substance, and we are asking you guys to not even put yourself in the position of explaining things later in the future by allowing his family to feed him. Again, I am not making any speculation. I am not calling any agency. I am just saying. This is me giving my own 2 cents. Free Verydarkman. Verydarkman is a freedom fighter. He has fought for so many people. He has helped so many people that has been duped, recover their money, to mention the least. I see how all of us put our efforts to celebrate other freedom fighters from all over the world. But when it gets to our own, we don't want to accept him. We don't want to stand with him. We are against him for doing the right thing. This is the only country I know that when you stand up for good, when you stand up against evil, you become a bad person. You become targeted. You become targeted. And I know you guys hate his audacity. You guys hate his impetus. You guys hate his temerity. But I'm asking you guys to free Verydarkman.